So, and this wraps it back up to iView, where longer term, and even in the shorter term, as much as we can help it, what we really need help with to unlock, like one of the opportunities that we've had come across our plate is a customer looking for 400 drones a semester. Currently using a Chinese supplier buying drone kits. The Chinese supplier makes a lot of the components that we use in our current Develop Air products. And so they cannot or will not, cannot, kind of one and the same in this case, switch over to us, or really anyone for that matter, that doesn't have the manufacturing capability already built out. Now, one of the problems, especially in the Atlanta tech space, that we've talked with people like Dennis Hayes about, Sig Mosley about, that also
I don't think those guys would be, at this point, they're going to start wanting to kick some cash to you to get it going.
I don't, so with Dennis Hayes, I don't think he is in a position to be like actively making those sorts of investments. Sig Mosley,
his age too. I mean, Dennis is the modem.
Yes,
the modem
correct.
guy. He's
Correct.
blind, right?
Yes.
Essentially.
Yes.
Yeah, and at his age and stage in life, I don't know that he's really wanting to jump in that. But
and Sig Mosley, same sort of deal. Like I had already heard about this, that he's backed off. He's not doing any investments through his own company, his own investment firm. But even beyond that, just all of the Atlanta tech space has been built around enterprise software as a service, and we're just so far outside of what they know and are comfortable with, are familiar with, want to make investments in, where they could actually provide help outside of just writing a check. And again, the reality is, I'm the head of this ship, right? And I am not the most polished, person. Don't have, I have very rough edges.
You need to cut your hair, boy.
Actually, on one of our recent test flight videos, someone's like, "Who's going to take you seriously with hair like that?" Because it was super windy.
A techno guy, though. I mean, come on. No one.
And it's like, if you're not going to take me seriously for my hair being long,
I know.
It's not going to work out working with you anyway. But what I would like to finish up in the location, tying it about to the work, scaling up our manufacturing operations. Really, if like by the time I die, if we don't have Atlanta looking like the automotive hub that Henry Ford made Detroit look out to be, by the time he passed away, I failed in life. Like, I really think Atlanta, especially this part of North Metro Atlanta, I think, of course, just iView alone could have that effect, but I think even just us being here, scaling up will attract other companies also in the drone space to make Atlanta.
Your kind of big blueprint picture in the future is 20, 30 years from now, you want to see this area be known.
Not just as the aviation hub, right, but the unmanned aviation hub.
Unmanned aviation hub in this country.
Yeah. And again, even though we're starting with unmanned aviation, that's still even a part of it, because actually the very first hardware product I wanted to make back when I was at MTSU was a ground-based modular drone for the home and office. And we're still working towards that. But I think there's a lot more opportunity here now in the short term, over the next 5 to 10 years, in the mid to long term as well, in the aerial drone space, because there's a lot more flexibility when you're operating out and about in the public space versus you're operating in someone's home if something goes awry. And obviously there's still a lot of problems that can happen out and about in public that can be very catastrophic, but I think it's a whole other issue when you're inside someone's home and your robot all of a sudden causes harm to someone inside their home itself, or, their belongings, let alone, all the data that, hey, it's one thing, my drone's going and collecting data outside my home, outside my neighborhood.
You've got laws and all kind of regulations too in the future that's coming.
Or here that are already preventing this.
Already now, but there's going to be more and more.
Right.
I hear people talk about, well, this is, I've heard some female person that I know talk about, there's going to be drones flying all over the place, and people are going to be, you're going to have to worry about, what's flying overhead, and,
No, you're going to be inside watching Netflix and, having your drone bring your food to you. But so that's all to say. I think with the scaling up the manufacturing here in Atlanta, we should have very similar impact to what Henry Ford and the Ford Automotive Company had on building up Detroit.
So where do you see, if you could this is crystal ball,
Yep.
okay, and it might be try to be as realistic as you can, because I know people have a tendency to want to.
Yeah.
This is what I'd love to see, you
Yeah.
know. But what do you
Right.
think 2 years from now? What's the picture gonna? What's iView gonna look like in 2 years?
I'll give you two different realistic pictures, just because up to this date, I've raised $270,000 of capital for the company, and pretty much those three instances, I raised 100,000, then 150,000, and then 20, or 100, 150, and then $20,000. Didn't really think any of those would come through until they were pretty much there, right? And
These guys are still involved.
yes, and I think
They're on the board, or they're investors.
Equity holders, yeah.
Okay.
And right now, technically speaking, I am the only board of directors member of iView. But now we have board of advisors, and I go meet with all of our advisors, talk with our investors, of course, very regularly talk with every team member, especially our leadership team. And so it's just from a legality standpoint, one, you need to actually have a set board of directors, and then two, just from kind of being a fly-by-night sort of operation, we don't want to introduce extra unnecessary complexity, having a more formalized board than what's absolutely required at this time. But that's why I'm the only board of directors member, formally speaking. And then where was I before?
So 2 years.
2 years, yeah, thank you. I mentioned the fundraising because really what we're working towards is really a 3-year endeavor right now as far as our short-term focus, and that's getting Omnibot Air to market. So we have our Develop Air product line that was never actually meant to be a product. It was just, we can actually sell our own development platform that we're using to develop our own drone control software, to prove out concepts for all the different payloads that we want to have standardized for our prosumer drone product, Omnibot Air, as well as also verifying out all the components that work well across Develop Air, the mechanical designs that hold up to stress testing and flight, and take all of what we learn into a prosumer grade product that with Develop Air, if you want to fly with a camera, a deployment mechanism, a dispenser, any number of different sorts of payloads or attachments that you want to equip it with, you have to be technically savvy and have some sort of understanding of how to configure or set up that device, right? And we want to make it where if you want to attach a parachute to your drone, a camera to your drone, a cargo container, a sprayer, any of these sort of attachments, you just plug it in like you plug in a USB device to your computer. And that's 18 months if we were to raise our seed round of $2 million, or at least one of our investors right now has committed another $350,000 with the lead investment from a VC firm coming in to lead our seed round. So that would basically be, we need to find a lead investor of $500,000 or more, and then we'll have $850,000 of our $2 million seed round spoken for.
All right.
And that would allow us to really
and the details, I appreciate them, and but it's kind of overwhelming.
Yeah.
Can I bring you back to the big picture 2 to
Yes.
3 years from now?
2-3 years from now, we have our first real drone product in the market that we're just starting to ramp up to start producing thousands, if not tens of thousands of. And if not, we're just getting to the late stages of prototyping of that same product, but we'll continue having to build them to order by and large in the same way we're building Develop Air to order right now, but maybe in the dozens of units we can manufacture versus literally just one or two at a time, unless when we got an order for 10 Develop Air Mini, we had a 3-month lead time to be able to do that.
Let's go 5 years.